There are places on this planet that defy logic, territories where time seems to have stood still for millennia. Today, we are stepping away from the beaten path to witness the world's most breathtaking hidden wonders. From the crystalline mushroom islands of Palau to the Martian-like landscapes of the Australian desert, these are spots where nature's artistry reaches its peak. We will explore deep volcanic craters and ancient cloud forests that hold secrets older than civilization itself. It's a rare look at the Earth's most private masterpieces. I'm thrilled to have you on board for this visual documentary. If you love uncovering the mysteries of our globe, feel free to subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay connected with our adventures. Now, let's leave the familiar behind and dive into the extraordinary. The journey starts now. Zhujiagu Valley, China. Zhujiagu is globally renowned for its waters that shift hues due to mineral deposits and light refraction, crafting a landscape rarely seen elsewhere. These lakes were forged over thousands of years, allowing the water to shimmer in shades of blue, green, and pale yellow, depending on the sun's angle. The valley's varying elevations maintain a cool climate, which keeps the colors remarkably vivid. The water is so crystalline that it reveals fallen trees resting 8 meters deep, preserved by minerals like specimens at the bottom of a gallery. Some lakes hold a constant tone year-round, proving how stable the conditions remain at those heights. It is effectively the largest natural color palette in all of Asia. Water mirrors, where nature gazes to touch up her own makeup. Putangerua Pinnacles, New Zealand. Here lies an extraordinary forest of stone towers, where hard rock forms the summit, while softer layers remain beneath. These pillars have stood firm for millions of years. The erosion is so intense that it strips away the soft material, leaving stone columns that reach 100 meters high without collapsing. In local tradition, the silhouette of these pillars marks the area as a gateway to the world of the ancestors. The grooves in the stones run almost vertically, a rare feature in such landscapes. A single 30-minute storm can wash away surface layers, reshaping the faces of the pillars after every season. Walking beneath these sky-blocking towers is to experience the raw force of time in a surreal world. A stone labyrinth where the wind whispers the names of ancient forefathers. Anaga Rural Park, Spain. Anaga is an ancient volcanic landscape where basalt from millions of years ago was sculpted by Atlantic winds into razor-sharp ridges and rare woodlands. Its cloud forest survives thanks to trade winds that maintain extremely high humidity. The island's isolation allowed many native species to evolve independently, turning this place into a natural laboratory governed by time and climate. Sharp crests and thick layers of moss bear witness to thousands of days of passing clouds delivering water. Ancient tracks show the forest was a sacred refuge where nature and culture coexisted for centuries. The union of woods, clouds, and mountains creates the feeling of a land where time and memory become one. A forest that breathes mist and guards secrets from before the dawn of man. Caño Cristales, Colombia. Caño Cristales reveals brilliant shades of red, yellow, and green thanks to a unique aquatic plant, creating a multicolored river that instantly commands your attention. The river flows for 100 kilometers over ancient rocks dating back more than 1 billion years, giving the landscape a rare and precious aura. Explorers once called it a special geological corridor because its rocks are far older than most other sites in South America. Many sections are shallow, allowing sunlight to reach the riverbed and help the plants flourish with that intense crimson hue. Scientists have recorded more than 40 shades of red that shift according to mineral content. It is a dreamlike visual experience when the river glows with all its colors. The rainbow decided to descend to Earth to bathe in this one-of-a-kind river. Las Gachas, Colombia. Las Gachas is a shallow creek flowing over red rock where the surface is dotted with hundreds of natural circular holes. These craters range from 30 centimeters to 3 meters wide, reaching depths of 1.5 meters. The fast-moving water keeps them cool and clear. Since the 19th century, stories have described this as a strange river full of unexplained holes, remaining a local mystery for a long time. Hundreds of these aligned craters make the landscape look like the surface of a distant planet. The dark red rock combined with the round pits creates a geometric image that draws photographers from around the globe, seeking simple, natural beauty. The Earth decided to play a game of golf and left its holes filled with water. Capitol Reef, United States. Few expect Capitol Reef National Park to hide a massive wrinkle in the earth that stretches for 250 kilometers across the Utah desert. The entire area showcases red stone cliffs, white dome-like formations, and rock layers that preserve millions of years of history. These strata help us understand the world's changes, since ancient times. Its rock walls, standing at about 150 meters, are split by narrow cracks, creating the image of a giant natural rampart. This blend of depth and striking forms ensures this place is always a centerpiece in stories about the American Southwest. It is a wall of time rising before us with pride. A giant scar on the earth that tells us stories written in fire. Simpson Desert, Australia. The Simpson Desert is a vast sea of red sand in Australia, famous for hosting the world's longest system of parallel dunes, stretching over 560 kilometers. It contains more than 1,100 lines of dunes, arranged in even rows, forming one of the clearest sand networks in existence. The brilliant red color comes from a layer of iron on each grain of sand, oxidized by dry heat over ages. It was named in honor of the person who funded the first expeditions to map this harsh terrain. The parallel dunes remain straight and repeat hundreds of times like red bands painted across the earth. The extreme heat and wind make this desert a true test of endurance for any traveler. Red stripes that look as if they were painted by the sun on a canvas of sand. Teide National Park, Spain. Mount Teide is defined by a massive volcano standing at 3,715 meters, creating a dry landscape where colors shift dramatically with the light. The structure was born after the collapse of an older volcano, leaving basalt layers that tell a long history of eruptions. Throughout the park, There are ash fields, dark lava, and high walls alongside thin rock towers shaped by the wind. Ancient inhabitants saw the summit as the axis of the sky, and later, scientists used it to study the atmosphere and the Earth. This high-altitude system hosts many plants adapted to dryness. Standing near the old lava fields feels like being on another planet because the colors are constantly changing. To be here is to feel the weight of the sky upon the volcano's shoulders. Detwa Lagoon, Yemen. Detwa Lagoon stands out as a special site in Yemen, featuring shallow salt waters, white sand, and limestone cliffs that feel untouched. The ancient limestone was uplifted by the Earth's forces, while the sea exposes layers of history along the slopes. Seagrass meadows at the bottom serve as a nursery for young life and help stabilize the entire coastal system. With this blend of old rock, active wildlife, and ever-shifting coastal forms, Detwa remains one of the clearest examples of how nature continues to grow and change without human control. A corner of the world where man has yet to leave his mark. New Caledonia, France. New Caledonia was formed upon a rock plate more than 250 million years old and preserves layers of the ancient continent of Gondwana. A third of its soil is composed of rock rich in nickel and iron, which creates that distinct red earth. Its lagoon covers 24,000 square kilometers with clear water that reveals corals from above. Inland salt lakes with high mineral content reflect colors ranging from blue to soft violet, depending on the time of day. The surrounding water is so transparent that a short swim allows you to see tropical fish moving for kilometers. Diving is the most famous experience here because the water offers a direct and clear view into the undersea world. A coral paradise kept in a chest of ancient red earth. Bay of Fires, Australia. The Bay of Fires delivers a striking first impression with bright orange lichens covering the granite rocks. This orange layer is produced by natural organisms that live for hundreds of years and reflect sunlight with great intensity, making the rocks look hand-painted. The white shoreline comes from extremely pure sand grains that reflect intense light on sunny days. Touching the orange granite gives a sensation of gentle warmth because the lichen traps the sun's heat, creating a curious contrast with the cool, transparent water. Remains found nearby show that this area was home to ancient communities for thousands of years. These colors and history join to create a unique coastal landscape. Stones that dress in fire to greet the sea every fresh morning. Rock Islands, Palau. The Rock Islands are a group of more than 400 mushroom-shaped limestone islands in deep blue water. The marine system surrounding them holds more than 700 species of fish and 400 types of coral, making it one of the strongest life hubs in the Pacific. Many local traditions speak of sea spirits living among the rocks, giving them immense spiritual value. The islands feature forested tops and thin bases carved by waves over millennia. The water is so clear that you can see the reefs directly from boats, feeling as though you are floating over a transparent ocean. This clarity allows visibility of more than 30 meters, ideal for those studying coral and the sea from afar. Stone mushrooms growing in a water garden of crystal and peace. Shibam, Yemen. Shibam rises in the Yemeni desert as a 500-year-old vertical city where towers made of mud bricks create an image that defies logic. Here, you see buildings ranging from 5 to 11 stories packed tightly together, forming a giant facade over the golden sand. Its upward design was intended to escape mountain floods, using sun-dried bricks as a durable living system. With nearly 500 towers, Shibam is the oldest mud brick city in the world and a model of desert construction. Each building divides its floors for living, storage, and keeping animals. Through the centuries, it has stood as an example of how people adapt to difficult environments with intelligence. Mud skyscrapers that challenge the desert with their earthen elegance. Phong Nha Ke Bang, Vietnam. This limestone park is a protected area in Vietnam, where a massive block of rock forms one of the rarest structures in the world. The area covers about 2,000 square kilometers and connects with another zone across the border. Large holes dropping hundreds of meters appear within the forest, like giant wells showing layers of plants far below. A few kilometers from the villages, the landscape abruptly shifts to limestone walls, thick jungle, and broken terrain that feels vastly different. These forms and the humid climate support hundreds of species of mammals and birds. The blend of ancient rock and tropical rainforest gives this area an immense natural value that endures through time. A labyrinth of stone and jungle, where the earth guards 1,000 secrets. Ojos del Mar, Argentina. Ojos del Mar emerges on a high plateau where deep blue pools house microbes living in water, much saltier than the sea. Beneath the clear surface, structures grow that resemble ancient systems which helped create oxygen on Earth a very long time ago. The powerful sunlight reflects off the white salt, making the water glow with a turquoise blue that seems artificial. Studies show that the bacteria continue to thrive despite the harsh sun, temperature shifts, and high salt content that would kill almost any other living being. For those watching, seeing that brilliant blue water in the middle of a salt desert is an experience that connects you with the very dawn of life. Tiny blue eyes watching us from the beginning of time. Lake Toba, Indonesia. Lake Toba is the largest volcanic lake on Earth, born from a massive eruption 74,000 years ago. Standing at the edge and looking down, you feel the giant scale of a volcano that looks like a sea inside the land. The area stretches for nearly 100 kilometers with depths that in many parts exceed 550 meters. Its dark water reflects the great depth and the ancient structure of the volcano, making the lake appear like a giant jewel among the mountains. It is known that humans lived near the lake for thousands of years, making this region a very important ancient settlement. Today, it is recognized for its unique value in the history of the Earth and the people who inhabit it. A sleeping sea in the cradle of a volcano that changed the world. Rio Tinto, Spain. Gazing at Rio Tinto, you face a 100-kilometer-long brilliant red river with highly acidic water that looks like a recently discovered Martian landscape. Dissolved iron, much higher than in normal rivers, turns the water red, orange, or even violet within a few meters. Oxidation creates sharp metallic shapes on the banks, making you feel as if you are walking through a natural laboratory. Surprisingly, many microbes live here, proving that life can adapt to conditions previously thought impossible. Space agencies use data from this river as a model to search for life on other planets. This river is a symbol of natural environments almost unknown on our own Earth that still surprise us today. A river of metallic blood flowing toward the secrets of space. Alcantara Gorges, Italy. The Alcantara Gorges begin as a deep volcanic corridor where young basalt cracked suddenly when hot lava touched cold water. Its walls rise between 20 and 30 meters as they narrow, showing layers of stone placed with almost machine-like precision. Many columns bend, showing the pressure the lava endured as it cooled, leaving marks found in almost no other place on Earth. The rapid cooling produced textures of sharp lines in the rock, marking how the lava shrank with the cold. The water has carved grooves, only a few centimeters deep, offering a timeline of erosion. All this makes this place a living record of how fire and water sculpt the earth. Stone columns that tell the story of how fire became cold rock. Mount Bromo, Indonesia. Mount Bromo rises on an ancient volcanic plateau with a crater 800 meters wide and nearly 200 meters deep, looking like an ash pit. Sulfurous smoke rises constantly and travels through an ash valley spanning many kilometers, forming a border between the cold air and the rising heat. Local people consider the summit sacred and maintain the tradition of throwing offerings into the crater to stay in harmony with natural energy. Records show constant changes in colors due to depth and minerals, which confuses the eye, especially when boats pass through narrow channels between rock walls. Moving through here allows one to feel the immense scale and hidden history of this place. The warm breath of a giant that never truly falls into a deep sleep. Tottori Sand Dunes, Japan. The Tottori Dunes stand on the coast of Japan as a mass of sand created by powerful waves and constant winds over thousands of years. The winds and low humidity draw ripple patterns that look like scans made with advanced tools. Some dunes rise more than 50 meters, giving the area the rare appearance of a desert in a country as humid as Japan. The sand here moves with the seasons, and some parts change their height by more than 1 meter every year. For those visiting, standing on the peak of a dune, while the wind blows over the golden sand, creates a moment of peace that reveals how life moves, even in the most difficult and changing places. A piece of the desert that escaped to gaze upon the Japanese sea. Southern lagoon of the Rock Islands, Palau. This lagoon is a limestone labyrinth in the Pacific, where more than 400 mushroom-shaped islands are spread across 1,000 square kilometers. These islands are the remains of ancient corals, uplifted and carved by waves and tides over thousands of years. Many are joined to the seafloor by thin pillars, showcasing forms that seem to defy natural stability. The turquoise water shifts with the depth and reflects limestone bands, turning the lagoon into a giant field of color floating in the ocean. This site is recognized for its hundreds of species of coral and fish, being a space where stone, water, and time assemble a landscape that challenges everything we know about natural beauty. A labyrinth of emeralds floating upon an infinite sea of glass. Rock Peninsula, Bolivia. This peninsula emerges as a stone valley upon a plateau 4,000 meters high, where the desert suddenly turns into solitary volcanic towers. Ancient layers were uplifted by the forces of the Andes, creating a hard base for the wind and cold to carve their edges. Many rocks balance on tiny supports, showing shapes that challenge our thoughts on natural stability. The extreme drought allows visibility for many, many kilometers, turning every rock into a solitary mark on an empty horizon. It is a place where wind, time, and stone work together to form a landscape that carries reality far beyond what anyone would expect to see. Anaga Rural Park, Spain. Anaga is a volcanic landscape from 9 million years ago, where basalt was carved by winds into sharp ridges and a rare prehistoric forest. Its cloud forest from 20 million years ago survives thanks to winds that keep the humidity at nearly 100%. Being isolated allowed hundreds of native species to grow in a unique way, serving as a laboratory where time and climate rule. Crests like knives and thick moss show clouds passing for thousands of days and storing plenty of water. Ancient traces show that the forest was a sacred refuge for centuries. The meeting of forest, cloud, and mountain creates the sensation of a land where time, memory, and nature unite as one. Out of all these hidden gems, which one felt the most like another planet to you? Make sure to subscribe to the channel and leave a like if you enjoyed this documentary. Keep watching our content to fuel your wanderlust and discover more of Earth's mysteries. See you in the next video.